So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the most commonly missed problems on the quiz. And this is going to be part of our review. After this, we're going to go ahead and get some practice in our Desmos activity. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we started out with a number of these. You guys did a really good job on the exponential growths, but you had a hard time finding the exponential decay. So we're looking for which has an exponential decay of 5%. Which one has a decay of 5%? So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to find the multiplier on our own. So we are looking for a decay of 5%. Here we go. So when we have a decay of 5%, our first step is we're going to move our decimal point 2 to the left. So we're going to move our decimal point 2 to the left, and that turns it into the decimal 0.05. Because it's a decay, we're going to go 1 minus that decimal. And so 1 minus 0.05 is 0.95. So we know this is going to be our multiplier. And remember, for all these, y equals a times b to the x power, where our b is our multiplier. So when we go back and look at our answer choices, we're looking for one that has a 0.95. And that, of course, is going to be D in this case. Now, whenever I give you guys your quizzes, the answer order gets rotated. So it's not necessarily going to be D on yours, but it will have that exponential decay going on, which is that 0.95. The second question, the third question, the next one, question 3, is also one that was commonly missed. And this one is a decay of 6%. So very similar, very close to the same thing, where we're going to move our decimal point 2 to the left. And it is a decay, so 1 minus that number, and that's going to be 0.94 for our multiplier. And remember, your multiplier is that number that is below your x as the base. So when we're looking at this problem, we see that this one right here, 100,000 times 0.94 to the x power, is going to be our answer. Okay, our next question, there was a whole bunch of decays and growths on this test to make sure that you guys understood. And then the next question was number 9. And this was find the equation of a line given 2 points. So we have the points 2, 4, and 6, 10. And we have to be careful because later on we're going to do one that isn't a line but is exponential. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the slope. And that, of course, is our change in y's over our change in x's. Okay, so we can pick either one. I like to start with the one that has a higher y. So we have 10 minus 4 over 6 minus 2. And that becomes 10 minus 4 is 6. And 6 minus 2 is 4. And that reduces to 3/2 for our slope. Now remember, this is a line, so we're going y equals mx plus b. So now we're going to go ahead and pick one of the points. I'm going to pick the one with the smaller number. And we're going to go ahead and plug that in and our slope and then solve for b. So we have 4 is equal to 3/2 times my x, which is 2, plus b. Now that's 6 divided by 2, which of course gives me 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And so b is 1. So our equation is going to be y equals 3/2 x plus 1. And then we just need to go ahead and go back into the quiz and see which one that is. And of course, it's 3/2 x plus 1. Okay, so we needed to do both those 2 points. The next question we're going to go over is question number 12. And question number 12 was a tile problem. So whenever you have a tile problem, we need to go ahead and make an XY table starting with figure 0. And then we see figure 1 and figure 2 and figure 3, and we start by simply counting. So I see figure 1 has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Figure 2 has 4, 5, 6, 7, and figure 3 has 4. So now that we know that, we are going to go ahead and find the pattern. So I see that my pattern is -3. Because it's a pattern of -3, I know that it is going to be a line. So I'm going to work backwards and do the opposite of subtracting 3, which is adding 3. And that shows me that I have a 0 of 13. And that, of course, is my b. So my equation of this tile problem is going to be y is equal to -3x plus 13. Okay, and that's what you're going to type in for this problem. This one wasn't a choice. You had to go ahead and type that in. So for your tile problem, y is equal to -3x plus 13. Okay, the next problem we're going to go over is problem number 15. And we're looking for items that are equivalent to 64 to the 3 halves. 64 to the 3 halves, okay? So we know from our notes that we took that we rewrite our base underneath our root symbol, and the numerator stays with the base, and the denominator goes in the crook. Okay. Now there's a couple ways this could look at. We know that that 2 doesn't have to be there. So we're also looking for simply with the square root symbol. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see which one of those matches our answer. And they do have it with the crook. And so we're going to go ahead and pick this one right here. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go over question number 23. We're nearing the end here. You guys did great on the diamond problems. Those were the highest percentage was the diamond problems. So that makes me feel good because that means that you guys are going to be ready for next chapter, which is quadratics. So we're multiplying binomials, 3x plus 6 times x plus 7. Okay, and we use a generic rectangle to do this. So we go ahead and make our generic rectangle. The first set goes on the bottom. The second set goes up the side. And now we're going to multiply, 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 multiply. 3x times x is 3x squared. 6 times x is 6x. 7 times 3x is 21x. And 7 times 6 is 42. Now we're going to write our answer combining like terms. Our plain x's are the only two that are the same. So we're going to start with our highest power, 3x squared. 21x plus 6x is positive 27x, and that is a positive 42. Okay, and so we would go ahead, head over to our test, and find which one that is, and here it is with the 27 in the middle. Okay, the last question that we're going to go over is question 24. Question 24 and 25 are very similar, and we did this in class numerous times in your notes. So basically, we're looking at a exponential growth in this case, and we're given 2 points, 124 and 144. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and type in the equation, and I'll show you how to do that. Some people had a hard time typing those in as well. So the first thing that I do is I make an XY table. I start with 0, and then I type in the pairs that I have, 124 and 144. Okay. At this point, I need to go ahead and find the multiplier. My multiplier is equal to my next number divided by my previous. So my next number is 144 divided by my previous, which is 24. So I'm going to plug that in my calculator. 144 divided by 24, and that gives me a multiplier of 6. So that means I am going times 6, and that is my multiplier. And remember, this is an exponential curve, so it's going to go in the form 1 y equals a times b to the x power, with a being my 0 and b being my multiplier. So I'm going to go ahead and work backwards to find my 0. The opposite of multiplying by 6 is dividing by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So that's going to be my a, and my 6 here is going to be my b. So I just have to write that. Y is equal to, my 0 is 4, times my multiplier, which is 6, to the x power. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and type that in our answer. And we have y is equal to 4 times is just like in Desmos, shift 8, 6, and then shift 6 to bring it up to our power to the x power. So it comes up with an x. If I wanted to go ahead, I can bring up another keyboard here. It's kind of being covered up by my Screencastify here, but you can also have the dot here instead of the x, and that would have marked it correct as well. So we just want to make sure that you guys are getting that in there. And that is our review of the most missed questions on the quiz. So if you have any other questions that you would like to go over, let's go ahead and ask about specific problems in class, and we'll go ahead and go over any ones that you want to in class as well. What we're going to do after this is we're going to go into our Desmos activity, and we're going to work on some more review problems.